Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Well, Donald Trump's back in the news. When is he not in the news? He got a new gag order imposed on him by Judge Chutkan. And it's a very narrow gag order. Basically, can't talk about the prosecutors, can't talk about witnesses involved in the January 6th insurrection case. And that's on top of the gag order that Judge Engoron put on him. Now, interestingly, I had never heard of this person before. Laura Loomer posted up a document that basically doxed Letitia James. It showed Letitia James's home address. And then Trump took that Laura Loomer post, which was yesterday on October 16th, and then, broadcast. I don't know if it was on True Social or on X. I couldn't tell by the article here. But then basically, amplified it. So she's been doxxed. I'm wondering if Judge Engoron might have something to say about that, because he probably should have something to say about that, because he just basically blasted out the Attorney General's address to millions of people. Lovely. And he's out there complaining about his freedom of speech and yada, 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 yada. So just want to find out what will be the repercussions for this, if any, and kind of what's going on with this. So Donald Trump, he just went out and amplified information that would dox Letitia James. What's the energy around this? Yep, it's his way of getting around the gag order. It's his way trying to get out of this, and his payback for her trying to bring a case against him. Just trying to get away with it, being a thief in the night. Crossed with the Three of Wands. Because there's no... It's one of those things that this probably isn't covered in the gag order, so he doesn't think there... It's like, oh, you can't punish me unless you told me I couldn't do it. It's that kind of mindset. Like, oh, I didn't know I couldn't shoot people on Fifth Avenue. Nobody told me that was illegal. Just kind of like his call. If you heard a tape about his call, or he was giving a speech saying nobody said it was a bad call, therefore there was nothing wrong. So if nobody tells you that shooting somebody on Fifth Avenue is murder and you're going to get thrown in jail and say that's a bad idea, then you could shoot somebody and there's no consequences. He's got the logic of a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old with a poopy diaper. But yeah, he's getting away with it because he feels like they can't do anything to him. Since they didn't ban it, it's free game. But there's the judge sitting there watching, and the judge can take action. And the judge should take action. In the past, it's a burden. Yeah, I bet. Telling Donald Trump he has to shut up is something really, really difficult. He doesn't have the capacity. So his whole thing is to badger witnesses, badger the judge, badger the prosecutors and stuff, such things that's his just base go-to way of doing things. And when he's told he can't do it, he's a one-trick pony. He's got nothing else. So he has to try and figure out a way that he can keep doing what he's always been doing. So, in this case, he's like, well, I didn't say it. Somebody else said it. I just repeated what they said. How is that a problem? But again, just because you said it and they didn't say that you could get in trouble for it doesn't mean you won't get in trouble for it. So there might be something behind this. I guess it just depends if this judge has a backbone. I'll tell you what, Judge Chutkan would have done something about it, would be my guess. Let's see what Judge Engoron does. Overarching energy. Okay, so again, this card's got so many meanings to me. Trump is worried about his money, so he's trying to offer up something of value with her address, hoping somebody's going to somebody will make some plans to go after Letitia James. And then he could also say, oh, I just was amplifying this one article. I had no idea her address is on there. So he's trying to play the plausible deniability card, but I think also this will impact his election interference card. Oh, of course. And then I got my new meaning for this card, which is the grift. So he's going to continue trying to raise money for his legal fees based on this case. Ooh, but here comes the judge. He's going to face some consequences. This could absolutely blow up by doing this act. And it happened yesterday. I mean, literally, Judge Chutkan yesterday gave him a gag order, and today he's doxing Letitia James. Do not think for a second Judge Chutkan is not... I saw that. I'm looking at my case. Are you going to do the same thing with like Jack Smith? And expect that Jack Smith will already be filing another motion with Judge Chutkan about modifying his gag order to include doxing. That's going to happen. Will it happen in the civil case? I don't know, but absolutely that's going to happen in the election interference case. The outcome is the Five of Swords. Donald Trump is his own worst enemy. He just tries to get away with stuff all the time, and this is going to lead to what was a narrow gag order. This is going to lead to some very serious consequences for him. She might take away his freedom for a few days or a few hours if that's what she needs to do to get the message across. It's like, you want to play like that? I can show the judge. The judge can show him who the big dog is in all this. He's in trouble with Judge Chutkan. He is in trouble with the Department of Justice. But we'll have to see what Judge Engoron does, because we're talking with Letitia James here. Maybe, I'm not getting a strong feel with Judge Engoron. I'll be curious to see if he does anything about it. There was nothing in the news. I mean, and funny thing is, I saw this on Midas Touch. And I went looking in the mainstream, just Google searching it. I couldn't find any stories about this doxing other than on the Midas Touch. So, and they at least came with receipts. They showed screenshots of what was on Laura Loomer's site. They showed screenshots of Donald Trump's social media posts. So they're on top of it. So this isn't an example of like Midas Touch maybe being a far left-leaning news source. They at least came with screenshots and documentation. Now, I couldn't find the Donald Trump tweet or post, so that could always be photoshopped, I suppose. I have to allow for that because I couldn't find it. But I did go onto the Laura Loomer site and absolutely confirmed that the doxing document was present there. Okay, so we'll see what happens with Judge Engoron and Judge Chutkan. Judge Chutkan basically, in her message to him, saying, I don't have to wait to modify conditions of this gag order. I don't have to wait for the prosecutors to send stuff to me. If I see something, I'm going to act on it. So, he didn't even the body's not even cold, and he's doing stupid stuff. Will this be enough to trigger her? Maybe. We'll see how the week goes. But man, I hope she modifies it immediately and just sends that message that this is not okay. That ought to drive him nuts. Okay, there's that Two of Wands again. I think she's planning on it. Two of Wands, she's planning on it. She's already starting the ball rolling on that. The civil case. What do I want to about the civil case? Will Michael Cohen end up testifying in the civil case? I do want to find out if Michael Cohen's going to end up testifying in that civil case. For entertainment purposes only. He's planning on it. One step at a time. I know that he postponed his testimony because of his health issues. He had some concern, a little trepidation about testifying because, Donald Trump's going after people. And I think he wants to see how the courts are handling this before he puts himself out there again. Because he knows Donald Trump is going to try. If he goes out there and testifies, Donald Trump is going to set people after him and try and mess with them and do stuff like that. underneath it all is the Eight of Pentacles. I think, Michael Cohen, interestingly enough, with his podcast and everything else that's going on, he's rebuilding his image and he's rebuilding his value and his worth, like his self-worth, not only monetarily, but from a self-love ego point of view. Like, he's moving out of that darkness and taking a stand. Is he going to be the 3D or the 5D energy type thing? He, despite some rather base behavior, he's working his way to 5D. But he doesn't want Donald Trump taking away everything that he's been building. In the past, we got the Three of Pentacles. This whole civil trial started because of the dark money. We had the Stormy Daniels payment and such, and Trump was co-conspirator number one. But then the civil trial came about because of Cohen's testimony to Congress, because of his testimony in working with the Department of Justice and the Attorney General in New York, in showing where all the dark money was. So Trump would go after him because it's just retribution, it's revenge. Will Michael testify? He will. It's very interesting. Maybe they try and do like a video deposition where he's not in the courthouse, but he's testifying over like a Zoom call or something like that. That's one possibility. I think, though, he had that medical procedure, but his testimony is gonna come soon. Whether it's over the airwaves or in person remains to be seen. But there's going to be something quick messaging happening with that. Overarching energy. He's wondering if he should do it at all. Is it worth it to me to do this? So he's contemplating right now. I want to go through with this, but I know what this guy's capable of doing. I've told you everything I know. I had to make my decision soon, but what I'm concerned about is this guy taking away everything that I've been working for, because, if he's not going to have suitable protections, why would he want to do that and put himself out there? The case doesn't need him to be there testifying, but it would be very useful if he did. So maybe he's able to negotiate something. The lesson to be learned is the High Priestess. He knows a lot, and he'd be a very credible witness. Now, mind you, it's not a jury trial. It's with a judge. So maybe he's, thinking, the judge doesn't necessarily need me there to have made up his mind. The judge already found him guilty on the biggest offenses. So right now he's balancing what's the wise thing to do. I think in some ways he wants to testify because it's going to be further purging of this darkness from his soul, as it were. He would never put it that way, but think of it that way. That this is just, his healing process would have him testify again. I think he's going to do it. I think he will, in the end of the day, he will go forward with it. He is worried about his family. When you've got this and this, he is worried about his family. But I think he's going to do it regardless. There's been a lot of work here. Oh, anything else I want to throw on that one? So, we'll throw. Well, who wants to know about Donnie's feelings? Oh, he's such a sensitive boy. His world's coming crashing down on him. It really is. Oh, in one of the articles, I guess Letitia James was saying that he was inflating his net worth by like $2 billion. But during the time frame when she said he was doing that, his net worth was somewhere between 2.3 and $3.2 billion. So literally, his net worth was somewhere maybe between $300 million and $1 billion. Which is, a far cry from, 2.3 to $3.5 billion. It's still a lot of money. But, when your dad gave you, it's a lot of money. But, considering how much laundering is going on in that business for entertainment purposes only, it's not that much money considering how much money goes through his hands. All right, how's Donald feeling about all these gag orders and trials, and where is he? Where is he on the emotional roller coaster of life? He's still focused on election interference. That's the big one. The January 6th thing is weighing really heavily on his mind. That case more than anything else, more than the Mar-a-Lago documents case. It's January 6th and the election interference in Georgia. Those two cases. One, because it's going to expose him for, in the New York civil case. And he's trying to grift. He's trying to grift. He's worried about the cases. The civil case, because it's going to take his money and make him a pauper. The Georgia case, because it's state charges and he can't fight those state charges. He can't give himself a pardon on state charges. And then the Jack Smith case, because it's going to blow open and show his corruption and his involvement in the insurrection. He wants to go away. He needs to calm down. He's looking at leaving. He's starting to entertain those thoughts of leaving again. Maybe he's actually taking some active steps to that. Yeah. He's starting to contemplate where in the world he can go. And we know there's places he can go. Russia, China, and Saudi Arabia are 3 places that he could go to get away from all this. Especially as these cases come sooner and sooner. This civil trial is coming due in like 2 months' time. So by the end of the year, this one should be resolved. In the past, he's worried about going to prison. I think this might be the booking in Georgia was kind of a wake-up call for him. But he's worried about prison, and he's worried about his welcome. When all this is going on, he was, with like the Mar-a-Lago documents case and selling secrets, he was trying to build up goodwill for places he could go to when he needed an escape route. But right now, he's focused on his wealth. So he had an escape route, but right now he's really focused on his wealth and his legacy. And that's consuming his thoughts at the moment. He's thinking about escaping, but he can't escape yet because he needs to defend his fortune. Because without his money, he's nothing. Because he ties his self-worth to his net worth. So he's in a real conundrum here. He wants to leave. He wants to flee. He can't because he needs to protect his money. And he's worried about being a pauper, and he's worried about the government just taking everything from him and leaving him penniless. And if he's penniless, he's at the mercy of whoever his host is when he runs. And he doesn't want to be at that mercy. He wants to be independently wealthy. So he is taking really strong. Expect in the civil case, he's going to be there a lot, and he's going to be defending it and just doing crazy stuff, trying to protect his money, trying to protect his legacy. His whole world comes crashing down without that. But in the end, the government's going to shut him down. He's already lost this case. And he's going to lose more bigly here, but the government may shut down his big stick. Might even prevent him from leaving, too. Be interesting to hear if you hear that they took his passport. Okay, so I think he is, wishing, some days I think he's wishing he could just go, but then he remembers all his money and his legacy are at risk. So he's in this really stressful situation of fight or flight. He wants to flee. He wants to flee big time, but he wants to take his money with him, and he can't. So he doesn't know what to do. So he just gets angry. He just lashes out. And his rage is impotent. He can't do anything with it. And now he's getting gag orders, which are stifling his ability to rage. And that's going to cause even more stress on him. So, that Six of Swords could be him having a breakdown too. And the World card could be, it brings him to an end and puts him in a hospital somewhere. I don't think we're quite there yet, but it could lead to that. Anyways, thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for all your likes, shares, and comments and everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so my videos make it out to those new viewers. And to those new viewers, welcome to the channel. Hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.